Social Impact Show with myself, Nokuthula Khwela, where we talk all CSR stories that affect you directly and indirectly. Coming to you from the iFundi offices in Sandton. If you want to know more about these educational experts, go to www.ifundi.co.za. Now let's head straight to our headlines.
Global Clubfoot experts to convene in SA for inaugural conference. SA journalists were awarded for excellence at Vodacom Journalist Awards. UWC launches improved mobile dental clinic, and the Ungallery brings township talent to the suburbs.
Cape Town recently held the very first Clubfoot conference in Africa.
The inaugural Clubfoot conference took place in South Africa, a first for Africa, and made even more significant due to it falling within Disability Awareness Month. The focus of the conference will specifically tackle and address the very treatable disability. Karen Moss, founder and director of the non-profit organization STEPS, says the incidence of clubfoot in Southern and East Africa is estimated to be around 1 in every 500 births, making it second highest incidence in the world. Clubfoot often bears a stigma, and some patients are not brought for treatment, but clubfoot is a treatable condition with early intervention by trained health professionals. South Africa is recognized as a country that has a remarkable clubfoot clinic model that can be replicated in other resource-restricted countries, hence the international interest in this conference. The conference lineup saw speakers from no fewer than 18 different countries, 13 from Africa, 1 from the Middle East, 3 from Asia, 1 from South America, 3 from the UK and North America, and 2 representing multiple countries in Africa.
South African journalists were recently awarded for their excellence at the Vodacom Journalist Awards.
Moving on to our next story, South Africa's finest journalists were lauded for their best work over the past year by the country's longest-running media awards, the Vodacom Journalist of the Year Awards, VJoy, at a ceremony held in Johannesburg today. The 2022 Vodacom Journalist of the Year overall winner, claiming 100,000, is Groundup's Raymond Joseph for his long-running investigation into the National Lotteries Commission and its recipients. The VJoy Awards have come of age, but now, 21 years old, show no sign of abating in popularity with the media fraternity, with a 35% increase in entries this year. The theme for the 2022 awards was storytellers, with judges praising the outstanding caliber of submissions from all 9 provinces. The national category winners, who each won 10,000, were Investigative, Western Cape's Raymond Joseph of Groundup for gaming the lottery; Opinion, Gauteng's Faisal Patel of The Citizen; Features, KwaZulu-Natal's Nikki Troll for a carte blanche feature piece, Tactical Takedown; Sport, Gauteng's Hloni Mtumkulu of ENCA; Politics, Western Cape's Atim Tongwana of Newsroom Africa for FW de Klerks; Death Ignites Emotions from Northwest Massacre Families, to mention a few.
UWC recently revamped its mobile dental clinic.
The University of the Western Cape's UWC Dental Community Outreach Project received a huge boost this week when a new, much-improved mobile dental clinic was launched. The 3 million mobile dental clinic is said to be the biggest such clinic in South Africa and will significantly increase treatment and care of the impoverished communities in the Western Cape. In addition, dentistry students joining the mobile clinic will receive clinical training. The new clinic replaces the old one, which has been used for 44 years and is the result of a joint partnership between UWC, which raised 1 million towards the clinic, and a long list of partners including Colgate-Palmolive, Rotary Club of the Waterfront, and the Dental Wellness Foundation. It boasts 3 chairs compared to the 2 that were in the old truck and is fitted with a high-tech intraoral camera that will be linked to the Faculty of Dentistry so that images may be sent from the mobile clinic for help and advice from colleagues at the faculty.
The Ungallery is exposing people of the township to the suburbs.
And finally, public benefit organization 10 Million Makers has launched the Ungallery, housed in the 10 Million Makers studio at Core Catering Supplies, Randburg, Johannesburg. Sponsored by Core Catering Supplies, the Ungallery exhibits makers that would never make it into traditional galleries: street artists, sneaker painters, tattoo artists, graphic novelists, textile designers, and more, and explores the margins and celebrates low art in all its glorious creativity. The gallery exists to find, nurture, and promote undiscovered and overlooked talent in inner cities, townships, and informal settlements. It aims to help artists hone both the technical craft of artistic production and the commercial discipline of running a business. The gallery intentionally breaks conventions. Original artworks are translated into printed objects and digital NFTs to make them accessible. The gallery intentionally breaks conventions. Original artworks are translated into printed objects and digital NFTs to make them accessible to a broader audience. While printed reproductions can never replace the authenticity of the original, they rather serve to market the original, playing with the notions of authenticity while broadening revenue streams for emerging artists. The exhibition runs until the end of January 2023. Funds raised through introducing Friends of Sophia will fund Kopano Matala's exhibition of graphic designs exploring the intersection between Himba and Indebele, opening in February 2023.
It is now time for us to catch a breather. Do not leave your couch. We will be back. Welcome back to the Social Impact Show. Last month, the Sweet Life Diabetes community celebrated World Diabetes Day with the Wear It Blue Diabetes campaign. We recently spoke to the founder, Bridget McNulty, who has been living with diabetes for over 12 years, about the significance of this day. Here is your clip.
Morning, Bridget.
Morning. Thanks so much for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for giving us your time. I know that we recently celebrated World Diabetes Day, and you encouraged South Africans to wear it blue for diabetes. Can you tell us about that specific day, World Diabetes Day, and its significance?
So World Diabetes Day is on the 14th of November every year. And what I love about chatting to you today is that we often find a lot of people want to talk about diabetes on actual World Diabetes Day, and then the rest of the year, it's not as much of a thing. But for people living with diabetes, both type 1 and type 2 diabetes, we're living with it every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Wear Blue for Diabetes is our campaign every year, and we invite individual schools and workplaces to wear blue on World Diabetes Day as a way to spread awareness for people living with diabetes, but also of the symptoms of diabetes, which I'm going to throw in now quickly, if you don't mind.
Yes.
So there are 5 common symptoms of diabetes. Increased hunger, you see that particularly with type 2. Yeah. Increased thirst, needing to pee a lot, especially at night, exhaustion and blurry vision. And then in type 1, particularly in kids, it's the most noticeable. You also see weight loss.
Yeah.
So those are the symptoms everyone should be on the alert for.
I know that you have type 1 diabetes. Can you tell us a bit more about that, and how has it been for you personally?
So I was diagnosed with type 1 15 years ago, and it was a very dramatic diagnosis. So type 1, I'll quickly tell the difference for those who don't know. Type 1 is an autoimmune condition. It's genetic, but not hereditary, so it doesn't run in families. And there's not a satisfying reason you get it. It's a combination of 2 or more immunological insults. But the diagnosis is often very dramatic and sudden. You end up in hospital and you have to take insulin injections every time you eat for the rest of your life. Type 2 is the more common type. It's 90% of people. And it's often called a lifestyle condition, but that's not actually fair because it has a strong hereditary link. So it runs in families, your families with type 2, and then it's triggered by lifestyle things, which is eating the wrong kind of food, too much junk food, too much sugar, too many fatty, fast food kind of thing, not exercising enough, so not moving enough, and carrying extra weight, particularly around the middle, that triggers type 2. So for me, the diagnosis was very hectic, and I thought my life was over, and I felt like I was the only person who was living with type 1, which is crazy, but often what many of us feel when we have a diagnosis. And there wasn't a community of people I could connect to show me that it's possible to live a normal life with diabetes. And so that's why we started Sweet Life Diabetes Community, to show that you can live a perfectly happy, healthy life with diabetes if you take care of yourself.
Interesting. Speaking of Sweet Life Community, your organization, how is it educating people on diabetes, and what else is it doing beyond Wear It Blue campaign? Before our conversation started, you spoke about a national run that's happening this weekend. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
So Sweet Life is a nonprofit We are South Africa's largest online diabetes community, and we offer really easy to understand information and education about diabetes in English, isiXhosa, isiZulu, and Afrikaans on our website, which is sweetlife.org.za, which is South Africans with Diabetes. And on Instagram, we're sweetlife.org.za. And the goal there is really to offer expert opinion. So we have a panel of experts. All the information we share is verified by experts, but we want to offer it in a way that makes sense, because a lot of the time doctors speak a different language to the rest of us. And we also want to offer a space to be able to, like, the mental health side of living with these and the frustrations, and give a space to vent and all of that. So it really is a community of lovely. Like, I love hanging out with our community. But we also do a lot of nonprofit work, particularly in the public sector. So we have created a healthy food guide. We've created leaflets on how to manage type 1 and type 2 diabetes. We do webinars. We have a podcast, South Africans with Diabetes. We have frequent videos. We have Ask Me Anything events. It's really a space, any question you have. We say our website is kind of like the diabetes Wikipedia of South Africa. Any questions you have, we either have the answer or we'll find the answer if you ask us. And we are members of SA Diabetes Advocacy, which is an umbrella nonprofit of all the diabetes advocacy groups in South Africa. So all the organizations of people with diabetes. And on Saturday, the 26th, we are holding the first national diabetes run. You can walk or run, or if you're in a wheelchair, wheel for however far or short, however long or short a distance you choose. Anywhere you are in South Africa, it's a virtual run, and there's a group of people meeting at Sea Point Promenade in Cape Town at 9:30. But there are also going to be group country. Everyone's invited to take part, and you can find out about that on nationaldiabetesrun.co.za.
That's quite exciting. I might just partake. You mentioned
Please do.
I definitely will. You mentioned quite a lot of things. I like that there's various tools available to educate people. Does the organization only run in Gauteng, or it's national? Can you tell us about some of the work that you've done across South Africa?
So we are nationwide. Our presence is pretty much entirely online. So the community work we do is totally online, the community building and the social media and website and all of that. And then our healthy food guide is a printed book. It's fully illustrated, and it tells you how much to eat and in which portions, because the feedback from doctors was that portion control was a real problem. And we distribute those around the country to anyone who asks for them. And then the leaflets, we're doing a trial in public clinics in primary, secondary, and tertiary next year. And they are about TEAL, which is the very basic building blocks of diabetes education that we've developed. It stands for take your medication, eat healthy food, exercise a little each day, and lose weight if you need to. And we do that also nationwide. And then we create a diabetes journal every year for people living with type 1. And we just created a kids guidebook for parents of kids who have just been diagnosed with diabetes as well. So we try and answer the need whenever the community asks for something specific.
That's quite special. I love that it involves everyone in the community. So speaking of community, for people that want to volunteer or contribute, how do they contact the organization?
So best way is probably through our website, sweetlife.org.za. And if anyone is interested, if you're living with diabetes, or you have a family member living with diabetes, or you work with diabetes and you want to get involved in diabetes advocacy, SA Diabetes Advocacy is running a free advocacy training course. It's 4 weeks, and it's online. It's a Zoom call once a week, and it kind of teaches you everything you need to know to be able to advocate for people living with diabetes in South Africa. And all the details of that are also on our website, or on Facebook with South Africans with Diabetes, or sweetlife.org.za on Instagram.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the work that you do at Sweet Life.
I hope you found that insightful as I did. It is now time for us to take another break. Do not leave your couch. We will be back. Welcome back to the Social Impact Show. I recently sat down with Dr. David Tlale, yes, Dr. David Tlale, who was celebrating his honorary doctorate in fashion and also his new collection in collaboration with Avon, which is for the people. Here is your clip.
From day one, I said, I'd like to meet the people. I'd like to be with the people because I'm all about people. Because the more you become available for people, it's the more they love the product, it's the more they want to sell more. The fashion show is purely taking clients, friends, media on a journey of gratitude because as a brand, we are now 19 years in existence and we are looking forward to our 20-year celebration next year. And first of all, it's just like literally giving praise and glory unto the Almighty God. And also to try to bring people into our world. Maybe let me say my world. I am very spiritual, I'm a very God-fearing man. I'm God-grounded. Everything around me is all about God. And I would say many a times we find us as creatives, we detach God from our world. But I would say for me, this journey that we had to take people on is like, let's show you how God actually does orchestrate our lives because He's the master creator. And I believe on Saturday that was quite evident. The music, meeting, runway, and the colors, the whole background, the AV and everything else is just like, let's captivate the audience and tell our own story because most of the times people tell our stories. And this time around was like, we as the House of David Tlale, we want to take people on a journey. Being honored and recognized by the Tshwane University because of the contribution that we've made in the industry and also, I believe, our journey as the House of David Tlale is really humbling, first of all. Not many people actually have received. I believe we are the first to get an honorary doctorate in arts and design, specifically in the fashion industry. It's really, I'll say it's mind-blowing because you never expect these things. First of all, from the journey of like being nominated, I was told what it means. I was like, okay, I'm not sure what this means. And then I was like, okay, I tried to Google, but Google does not give you the experience, what it's gonna be. And then 6 months later, and then it was confirmed. I was like, oh wow, fantastic. So now I'm going to become a doctor. But you don't really get to that point until the day of robing, which on Monday, I get into this room, everybody's starting to robe themselves with their regalia, and there I am, I'm being robed as well, like, hey, Batong, this is serious. It was really, really emotional Monday, and I'm still taking it in. Many people ask me, so where to from here? I don't know. All I know is that I've just been, conferred as an honorary doctor from Arts and Design at Tshwane University, and it's really, really beautiful. Our collaboration with Avon was very selective. It was like selective. It was a conscious decision that we made because of what Avon stands for. Avon is all about changing people's lives and touching people's lives. From many stories that I've heard and I've always spoken about, the one story that stands out for me is a woman on the side of the road out in Limpopo selling vegetables, and they used to call him a tomato because she sold mostly tomatoes and everything and other veggies. But this woman from there, she started saving money, and then she started selling Avon. And then from Avon, she started building her own house. She took her kids to school. She bought herself cars, and now she's one of the best salespeople in the field. And the story goes beyond saying she was just selling Avon. It's like with the money that she got, she changed her life, she changed her family life. And today she's a fabulous girl. She's a weave girl and everything else, like literally from humble beginnings. And That story resonated with us as well as a brand, completely from the dusty streets on Vosloorus, self-made brand, and also what we believe in is touching and changing young designers' lives with the program called The Intern. We bring them forth with their own ideologies or understanding of what the industry is about, but then bring them into the business of fashion to say, this is what we do here as a business, and this is what the industry is about. Lo and behold, we've trained over 382 designers over the period of about 10 years. We have launched, not us, but the designers launched themselves into the industry, like the likes of Muso Maxwell, Ntando Ngwenya, Keletso Moraba, Cindy Mfabe, Siposihle Masango, just to name a few. And these designers, they're running thriving businesses today. And yes, they had their own background, we appreciate that, but when they got into The Intern by David Lally, they realized the hard work that goes into building a brand. And today, I meet most of them to say, thank you for that moment that we had with you, because it made us realize what we are supposed to do. And that's why we collaborated with Avon, because we're about changing people's lives, leaving a legacy to say, one day when I'm dead, my time is over on earth, people should remember that there was a brand, David Lally, that actually did A, B, C, and D.
Unfortunately, we have reached the end of our first season. I hope you found it as resourceful as I did, but let's keep the conversation going on our socials. That is at Social TV on LinkedIn and Facebook. It is TV_CSI on Instagram, and Twitter is at Social TV1.